listening to a report of yours earlier, and I think you really hit the nail on the head when you described in doctor speak what this really means. If you take the actual BRCA genes, BRCA1 and BRCA2, which were those genes, those beige needles found in the haystack, and you replicate them in order to do the research, what is that replication? Is that the synthetic gene that they can actually patent now, or is it just the process by which they got to the working project that's patentable, as you understand it?
I think it's the first thing that you said. It is the replica. It's the synthesized gene. They call it the complementary DNA. But think of it as a template. As you and Jeffrey were saying, the gene itself cannot be patented. Even the techniques, as arduous as they were to develop and as long as they took to actually work, cannot be patented. But then when you have a gene, what you really need to do is you need to create a replica of it with the junk taken out, so to speak. And it's that template that they say can be patented. Now, let me just get to the next point, because I think it's the important point, and that is that other companies can also create their own template of this as well. They can figure out a way to copy the sort of DNA strand that makes up the gene, get rid of the junk, and create their own template. And then so it wouldn't be the same template that Myriad has. And that's why you're probably going to see increased competition and other testing options become available, because other companies will do this.
And that brings me to my next point. Paul Callan, another CNN analyst, a legal analyst who's with us as well. Is this the kind of, because really when it comes right down to it, if I'm sitting in Omaha or if I'm in Washington State, I want to know how this affects me. And if I am at a risk for breast cancer, can I all of a sudden now, with this ruling, have better access to critical health care?
Not necessarily. The Supreme Court basically has given the pharmaceutical industry, the biotech industry, a way to make a lot of money in this area. If they have isolated a gene and they have, in essence, created sort of an artificial form of the gene, they can still charge for the testing that ultimately they're going to sell to the public. Now, let's bring it right down to the level of somebody in their doctor's office. Some of these tests cost like $1,000 to do because doctors have to buy the material from these biotech companies. So, I don't necessarily think that you're going to see any sort of immediate help to patients out there. But on the other hand, the company says, hey, this may give us the opportunity to develop more tests. We're going to put hundreds of millions of dollars into curing cancer and doing other things, and that the long-term benefits to society will be great. So this is a big, important decision in an area that affects everybody.
And stay nimble, because we have big, important decisions coming down in the next couple of weeks as well. Paul Callan, thank you very much for your insight. Jeffrey Toobin, as always, same thing. And also Joe Johns.